Welcome back to the Classic Rock Show here on ARfm. I'm joined this afternoon by Robbie, Brian and Ken from Consortium.
Today they've got a finished article. They say a fiver, you know.
Yeah.
And if they liked it, then it would would go on. But we couldn't do that, you know. So we never really played the whole album, did we? No. On a set at any time, you know.
Our stage act was a lot more violent than the album would imply. It was violent at times.
Did I read the line that it sort of got a bit Black Sabbathy at times? That sort of heavy.
I think we used to say to us, we can't drop you into any particular category, really.
Oh, right.
But it used to. It got very raucous on stage, didn't it? You know, we got it used to be excitable.
We have got some recorded material.
It left me deaf.
We've got some,
We have got some recorded material that we recorded in '73, I believe. That is a bit more. Was a bit heavier. Yeah. Very heavy and dark. So. Do
you think it'll ever find its way on to Angel Air?
I'd rather think that now we're all fired up again with the release of Rebirth. I'd like to think now that we would move forward rather than backwards.
But we used to have such a good time on stage. We really did. It was a party, wasn't it?
I can remember we had smoke bombs at one time.
The front of the stage used to be covered in bottles and glasses.
They weren't smoke bombs as such what you would have on stage for some reason. I don't know where they come from.
Probably ex-army flares.
We used some for the
nobody
gas
could
ball.
breathe.
They used to use
finish,
those kind of smoke bombs.
Yeah,
it was like a
the
London
audience
fog where we were
playing.
playing.
I mean, I used to see a band, again, this is Phil Collins' old band, the Dumb Blondes. They always very, very theatrical. And I used to use a pub down in Hoxton. Again, it was probably about the size of this room. And you'd have the stage there, and they would use all the theatrical stuff, including the smoke. And more times than I care to remember, all the doors had to open, basically just to let all the smoke out. You couldn't see from one end to the other. It's absolutely amazing.
But the audience, participation was great. I mean, it used to be horrific at times, didn't it? Do you remember when we played somewhere and someone got in such an ecstasy they cut their wrists? And we used to stand on the stage amazed, you know, and the volume would get more and more and more, and we'd come off. We couldn't talk for sometimes half an hour, you know, and I certainly couldn't hear. And to this day, I can't hear.
Because we played, you know, right up till '79.
Yeah.
That implies
it didn't actually split up though.
The CD implies that actually we packed up.
I think
soon after that. In '75, it wasn't the case. We kept going right through to almost 1980. Just in late '79,
And really, at that time, we was really ready to go. Then we had a big following, and I looked around, and it was all happening. It was
people talked about us going to America. And said, you've got to go to America.
And it was what happened? It was the punk, really.
Yeah, I was going to come to that. Yeah.
Overnight, it was just overnight. It was,
Yeah.
Well, I think in a way, we started to get a bit embarrassed with some of the audiences that were coming in, and we started to feel a bit detached from it. You know, I mean, we were playing along parallel when punk was going, because punk came in, I think, about '76, didn't it?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
But we happily soldiered on and still bringing big audiences in up to '79. But then there was that sort of the make-up bit kind of started coming in with the sort of romantics and punk was going, and they were sort of all these different fusions of music. The audience were changing, and I don't know. I mean, we never actually broke up.
No.
We left a rehearsal one night and said, well, what are we going to do? What should we do? I said, we'll work out in a few weeks' time what we're going to do. We'll have a break, and we never went back. We all kept in touch. We were all. It was like a family over the years. We'd all known each other for 20 years, really. Yeah. Different bands. It was like a community where we lived. You know, in North London. At that time, it was a community of musicians. It was a very good place to be throughout the 60s and 70s.
Ray Kane, he took over as manager. He tried to take you down the punk road, didn't he?
He tried.
Yeah. I mean, Ray's a nice fella, and I'd known Ray, from when he was in Grant Tracy and the Sunsets, and then which became, well, it didn't become Honeybus, then he joined Honeybus. Nice fella, and he was very impressive. The biggest thing I can remember about Ray, he too came to see us at the Marquee, and he phoned me the next day. He had to dash off. He saw the whole set. He phoned me the next day. He said, "I like the set. He said, I like the numbers." He said, "But I don't know which are your numbers and which are the covers." And it was really nice for me to be able to say to him, "They're all ours."
Yeah,
That was good.
Absolutely.
Yeah. He managed us for a little while and had quite a bit of input into the band. But then again, it didn't work.
One of the wonderful things about being in the position of hosting a classic rock music program is getting albums from labels like Angel Air, who are committed to reissuing. And there's been more than one occasion I thought to myself, where on earth did that come from? And I've also that happened when Peter sent Rebirth down to me. In my mind, it's an essential piece of British rock history. Is this closure or the spark maybe to another album?
It's fired us up, as I said earlier, and we would really like to get something else going. Unfortunately, John, my brother, is no longer with us, so that's sad, because he was an excellent drummer. And it's unfortunate that Mick lives in Devon as well, which is not an easy thing to get together geographically. But I'd like to think that we'll do some more recording. I don't suppose we'll ever do any more live shows. Yeah. But
that was going to be my next question. Any chance of a few dates? But
well, you never know.
You never say never.
As long as we can sit down.
Gentlemen, thanks very, very much for talking to us here on the Classic Rock Show, and we look forward to playing the album many, many times in the future. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Consortium, Time Waits for No Man. Rebirth is available through Angel Air, catalogue number SJPCD 216, and you can find them at www.angelair.co.uk. West Coast Consortium, Looking Back Over the Pie Anthology, is available through Sanctuary Records, CMRCD 786.